Morning, glory, America. Bonjour, hi, Canada. Greetings to everyone across the United States listening at home or driving to work. Some of you still are. You know, this radio business used to be 70% of our listeners in the car. Now it's flipped. But you've all found us and you're listening at home, and that's great. I'm joined by an old friend of the show, Congressman Doug Collins of Georgia, leading member on the House Judiciary Committee, just a voice for freedom, and I wanted to check in with him on the status of paycheck protection in the House. Good morning, Congressman Collins. Welcome back to the Hugh Hewitt Show.
Hey, good morning, Hugh. It's always good to be with you. Hope you're well.
I am well. Is the Collins family well?
Yes, Collins family is well right now. We're making
good.
it as best we can. As best we can.
Now, before I go to the House, you got to tell me, you're running for Senate in Georgia, and I stay out of primaries, but I'm fair to everyone. I want you to tell me, how do you run an insurgent campaign, a populist campaign, a conservatives campaign, when you can't campaign?
Well, you just continue to reach out in new and creative ways, just like your listeners have now flipped how they found you. Our voters are finding us, and we're making new ways to do that through the internet and through meetups and things like that. And also, it's been pretty amazing. Our folks have been finding us. They know that our message is the best one, and they're not real happy with what they're seeing from our appointed senators. So it's been well so far.
What is the website for the campaign, Congressman?
DougForGeorgia.com. DougForGeorgia.com.
You know, even the Steelers fans are going to be able to remember that. Even the SEC fans are going to be able to remember DougForGeorgia.com. I think that's wise, because those SEC fans, they're not pretty good beyond, they can count to 10 yards, but that's about it, Congressman.
But we count 7 points as well on touchdowns in national championships. So we do pretty good in that.
Oh, you know what? We're actually on the same page this week, because Thursday is the draft, and I want the Browns to get Andrew Thomas, the Georgia left tackle. That's my – if on Friday I'm talking about Andrew Thomas coming to Cleveland, I'm a happy man. Congressman, I am not happy about Speaker Pelosi. In fact, I rarely get angry. I understand politics, but she's killing businesses. She's killing them. There are – tens of thousands of people who cannot get paycheck protection because of Nancy Pelosi, and she's got a refrigerator full of ice cream, and she's incoherent. What is happening?
I've thought she was tone deaf for a long time, but this is just taking it to a new level. And the problem is she is just, it shows what is wrong many times with the left, and especially with Speaker Pelosi and others in Washington who believe that Washington just does it better, but they're just holding out for power. This is the part that is bothersome. They want to continue to attack the president while at the same point holding out that they're trying to get stuff that people need, while businesses are dying, because we stopped last week on having the money to fund the paycheck protection, which is the lifeline that has kept so many businesses going and needs to be more, because I have people last week who are just getting their paperwork finished, they're getting everything done, and all of a sudden, well, the money stopped. Now, I mean, what do you tell these people? I think for Speaker Pelosi to not make a payroll, to have to look at these business owners who are trying to keep their business afloat, she needs to be really, frankly, ashamed of where we're at right now.
Deeply shameful for her and Chuck Schumer. And by the way, Joe Biden is allowing it to happen. I want people to know who are tuning in, the Nixon Foundation, which I run, which we got 36 employees. We got more than that. We got a PPP because of the work of Pacific Mercantile Bank, and we're good for 2 months as a result. A lot of people didn't get it. A lot of small businesses, a lot of people with payrolls under 500 did not get it because they weren't fast out of the blocks. I'm pretty good at this stuff. I know what to do because I've got friends in Congress that tell me, yeah, it's opening up this day, and these are the rules, and we got it done, and the bank got it done. This is, to me, the easiest no-brainer ever. You have a government program that actually works, and they stopped it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I guess they just prefer things like the Obamacare website, who doesn't work, to keep it going. I mean, look, the problem is this actually works, and the president and his team and Secretary Mnuchin, which I think on this part did a great job of understanding where you got to get the funds to. It's either or. You either keep these businesses going, you keep them where they can keep their payrolls, they keep them with what they're doing, or you're going to end up with massive amounts on unemployment, which we're going to fund both ways. Why not keep people employed? Why not keep businesses going so that when we come out of this, which is hopefully sooner rather than later, then you have these businesses already continuing the economy in which we saw. That's the problem that bothers me the most, is that when you look at the actual monies going to people and how we can keep our business going, that's the part that that frankly disturbs me on Pelosi and Schumer's part, that they just seem to be, careless about what these businesses can and cannot do. And again, but it goes back to an attack on free enterprise. I mean, think about this. They've always had an issue with this, so I think we're just continuing that seeing that they want to see the businesses sort of come to government instead of the businesses do what they're supposed to do in an economy like ours.
Yeah, I had an interesting guest earlier, Selena Zito, saying that in Western Pennsylvania, people are seeing what a Green New Deal really would be like because the energy sector is shut down. Oil's down to $15 a barrel. And so they've shut it down. And as she said, I think eloquently, these towns have died before. They don't want to die again. And Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer have got their foot on the oxygen tube. So what do you think happens? Do we get relief this week? And then more importantly, paycheck protection only works for 2 months. So my
Right.
little foundation, it's good for 2 months. If they don't renew it, which is the easiest thing in the world to do, every 2 months come back in for as long as we shut down the country, it'll just be the same drama again. Will anyone look ahead long enough to figure out that as long as we have shutdowns in place, we need the government to step in?
Yeah, well, as long as the government, but you just hit it perfectly. And I've had people come to me and they say, well, why are we, what has got us in this position? Well, this is a unique position in which government has done the shutdown. So government has to step up and help these businesses get through this pandemic. And I think that's really the part for us is let's make this program, keep it out, keep it funded, and then make sure that we get the country reopened so that these businesses and organizations can start back again. And if not, then we're going to have to deal with this. But it shouldn't be basically let's get as much as I can, a candy grab every time we go in, wanting something that is just not reasonable. But we should get it this week. My hope is, from our conversations last night at the conference, we're hoping to get this done by midweek. And if that happens, then we'll get the program will start back immediately, and people who are in line already hopefully should be getting their money this week.
I think Leader McCarthy is doing a great job. I think you are as well. But I want to turn as chair of judiciary when the House was in Republican hands, you had quite a lot to do with intellectual property. You know what the PRC is like. You know what the CCP
Yep.
is like. Have your Democratic colleagues woken up to what the CCP is like and what they have done here?
No, I don't think so, because you're still, again, it's frankly, they would rather attack our administration than attack the Chinese administration, and it's just wrong. I mean, when you see the stuff that's going on, I know you've spoken about this and the punishment that needs to take place. I believe that there needs to be definitely an investigation. There definitely needs to be more done to hold China accountable. But this is also something that it helps us now focus, and even the Democrats have to acknowledge the supply chain issues with China and with others are something we now have to address. When you have a country that acts as they did and yet controls a large part of our pharmaceutical, a large part of our manufacturing, it's time we bring that stuff back home. And I think China's going to have to understand that their position on the world stage depends on being an actual reputable player on the world stage, which they've not been for a long time.
You know, Congressman Collins, I know it's not up to the United States, but I sure do not know how we hold the Winter Olympics in Beijing in 2022. Not merely retribution for their lives, but I don't know how you would believe them that it's safe. I don't know how you would believe anything they say. There is nothing, in the law. You're a lawyer, I'm a lawyer. We learn that if an evidence lies about it, if a witness or a party lies about something big, they'll lie about everything small too. I don't know how you believe anything out of the CCP.
No, it's not, and especially when you're seeing them go back to their same ways. There's reports of opening back up some of the practices of the markets. I mean, again, just with the wet markets, but also with some of the others, their research was skewed. We're seeing that kind of stuff. It makes it very difficult, and I don't think it's a bad discussion to have. To say, look, how do we know that in just a matter of about 18 months now, if you really take it from a stretched perspective, that you're looking to go in because athletes and everybody else will go in early? It is a concern. It's a rightful concern that people need to have.
All right, let me close by asking your assessment of the president. He's dealing with the weekend reporters who are all looking for their close-ups, and they just ask the dumbest damn questions like, were you duped by President Xi, by Jeremy Diamond of CNN? That's going in my Hall of Fame of dumb questions. But how do you think the president is doing?
I think he's doing great. I think in the sense that the interesting thing is here, you think about this for a minute. How many times, I want to take it to a different level. How many times have reporters complained, we're not getting briefings, we only hear from the press secretary, we never hear from the president? This president goes out every day and talks to the media and tells them. The problem is they don't like what he says. And so they have to spin it, and they have to form it into an adversarial relationship instead of one of saying, look, okay, Mr. President, I may not agree with what you're saying here, but how do we make it better? That's just not what they do. And it just shows that the press does not like this president. They would rather have an adversarial relationship and try to play gotcha moments instead of helping the American people.
Now, I want to see if you agree. There are some who are great, like Steve Holland, and there are others who are terrible, like Jeremy Diamond. It all depends on what their purpose is. Some are trying to injure the president. Some are trying to elicit information. The latter are great. The former are terrible. Agree or disagree, Congressman Doug Collins?
It's always good to be with you. I agree. Take care.
Thank you. Be well. Don't go anywhere, America. Hugh Hewitt will be right back. 1-800-520-1234 connects you to the Hugh Hewitt Show.